When it comes to dividend ETFs, there's one fund that dominates almost every conversation: the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, better known as SCHD. It's the fan favorite, the poster child of dividend YouTube, the ETF nearly everyone has in their portfolio, or at least feels like they should. But here's the reality. Over the last few years, SCHD has seriously trailed the broader market. While the S&P 500 has ripped higher thanks to mega-cap tech and the AI mania, SCHD has just jogged along. If you look at the numbers, the gap is huge. The S&P has pushed upward by over 60%, while SCHD has grown only a fraction of that. And because of that difference, I keep getting the same question over and over. Noah, is it time to sell SCHD? Today, we're going to break this down in a simple, practical way. No panic, no hype. Just the truth about SCHD's performance, its holdings, its role in a portfolio, and whether it still deserves a spot going forward. Hey, I'm Noah, and if you're working toward early retirement or just want your money to start working harder for you, you're in the right place. Go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, and let's get started. Oh, and just a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing. Stick with me to the end, and I'll also show you when SCHD shines the brightest, because timing matters with dividend ETFs more than most people think. Now let's talk about the question everybody keeps asking. Why has SCHD been falling behind? First, and this is important, SCHD isn't broken. It's not dying. And nothing about the strategy suddenly stopped working. The real change? The market shifted massively. SCHD follows the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index, a strict, rules-based system designed for one thing: long-term, stable dividend growth. And the rules are tough. Companies must have 10 straight years of dividend payments. They need at least a $500 million market cap, strong cash flow relative to debt, high return on equity, and a solid 5-year dividend growth history. Plus, no single stock can take up more than 4% of the entire ETF, and the whole index gets reconstructed every March, like clockwork. This is what makes SCHD powerful. It's disciplined, it's selective, and it doesn't chase trends. But that discipline also explains the performance gap. Take Broadcom, for example. A lot of investors were furious when SCHD dropped it. But SCHD didn't decide to give up on Broadcom. Broadcom simply no longer met the rules. The stock price skyrocketed so fast that the dividend yield collapsed. And when that yield dropped below the top candidates, the algorithm kicked it out. Not emotion, not human judgment, just math. And this brings us to the core issue. The real reason SCHD hasn't been keeping up. SCHD is not a tech-heavy ETF. And over the past 3 years, tech hasn't just outperformed, it has dominated everything. Think about where the market's been. Artificial intelligence, cloud software, semiconductors, and the magnificent 7 megacaps. These areas have been on fire. Meanwhile, SCHD's biggest weightings were in energy, consumer staples, healthcare, and industrials. Awesome sectors for stability. Fantastic for recession protection. Super dependable for dividends. But they're not the sectors leading the AI boom. So yes, SCHD fell behind. But here's the key point most investors miss. SCHD didn't fail. It wasn't designed for the environment we've been in. It's not supposed to behave like QQQ. It's not meant to chase Nvidia, Tesla, or Microsoft. It's not built to serve hype cycles or short-term mania. SCHD is built to survive and thrive over decades, not 2-year tech bubbles. So when you see the headlines and the charts comparing SCHD to the S&P 500, understand that they're playing completely different games. Tech has been running a marathon at sprint speed. SCHD has been jogging steadily, consistently, safely, and sometimes the sprinters win the moment, but the marathoners win the race. And SCHD was built to finish the race strong, steady, and still paying you cash the entire time. Now let's talk about something most investors completely overlook, but it might be the biggest reason people misunderstand SCHD. Everyone says they want diversification, but then you take one look at their portfolio and it's basically Apple here, Microsoft there, Nvidia everywhere. Amazon sprinkled across 3 different ETFs, and they think they're diversified, when in reality, they're holding the exact same companies over and over again. Here's the truth. The S&P 500 today, almost 40% technology. QQQ, more than 55% tech. VUG, 55% tech as well. And SMH, that's pure semiconductor exposure. So even if you own 5 different ETFs, you might still be owning the same handful of mega-cap tech giants driving all the returns. And that's exactly why SCHD exists. SCHD is one of the very few large, popular ETFs that doesn't drown you in technology. It's not built like QQQ. It's not built like the S&P 500. It's not trying to chase AI stocks or momentum. SCHD plays a completely different role, and every portfolio needs what SCHD brings to the table. Because if your portfolio is tech-heavy, and let's be honest, most portfolios today are very tech-heavy, SCHD is the stabilizer. It's the anchor. It's the steady income engine that keeps paying you when chaos hits. Think back to 2022 for a second. Tech stocks didn't just fall, they collapsed. Some of the most popular names were down 50%, 60%, 75% in some cases. People were panic selling every other day. But SCHD held up way better, and it kept paying dividends the entire time. That is SCHD's true purpose. Not to moonshot, not to beat the S&P every single year. Look around, the signs are everywhere. The economy is slowing down, cracks are forming in the labor market, consumers are pulling back, and the tech sector is starting to show signs of fatigue after running hot for years. And if you've studied enough market cycles, you know what comes next. Rotation. Because no matter how strong tech looks today, every cycle eventually shifts. And when it does, money flows straight into value stocks, dividend payers, and companies with real cash flow, which is exactly the world SCHD lives in. SCHD isn't built to beat the S&P 500 every single year. That was never the mission. It's built to compound wealth steadily for 10, 15, 20 years. It's built for patience, not hype. And that's why, for me, SCHD is still a long-term core position, not a short-term trade I jump in and out of. I'm not selling a single share. In fact, during market dips, I've been adding more because I genuinely believe the next few years will reward disciplined investors who own high-quality dividend growers instead of chasing whatever shiny tech stock is trending that month. When you hold SCHD, you're holding consistent dividends, strong dividend growth, lower volatility, reliable companies, and the kind of diversification most investors don't even realize they're missing. You're holding stability in a portfolio stuffed full of tech exposure. You're holding an income engine designed to grow even when the market cools off. That's why, to me, SCHD becomes more attractive when people start doubting it. Fear makes good ETFs look cheap, and I love buying quality on sale. So no, I'm not selling SCHD, not even close. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you holding SCHD? Accumulating more, or thinking about moving on? I read every comment. And if you found value in this breakdown and you want more real, research-driven, income-focused analysis, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it lets me keep bringing you the truth about dividend investing without the hype. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.